This is Katie the Novel Stitcher. It is Sunday, November 13th, and this is Flosstube number 6. If you are new here, thanks so much for joining and listening to all the things I have to show when it comes to cross-stitching. And I'll have some bookish content that always comes at the end of every video. If you like what you see and you like what I'm cross-stitching, please consider subscribing. That would mean so much to me. I know I have quite a number of new subscribers. Thank you so much for being here and subscribing. It really means a lot to me. This is so much fun. I'm having such a blast with it. So to have more people, hop on over and check out my videos and leave comments is just great. And for anyone who's a returning subscriber, thank you again for spending your time with me. It's so wonderful to connect with you all, to read your comments, to get book suggestions and hear what you're reading, to see and hear about what you're stitching and what you like, and to have you ask me questions and tell me about what's going on in your lives. It's fun. I love meeting people and making connections with people and learning more about people. And I think this kind of platform allows me both to meet some stitchers, because I don't have any stitchy friends in real life, and make connections that way, and also just kind of meet people from different walks of life and different parts of the country and the world. So it's really fun. So please subscribe if you haven't, like this video if you don't mind, and please keep commenting. Let me know what you're reading, what you're stitching, what's going on in your life. I hope you are all having a wonderful November. I hope you're getting excited for the holidays. Let me know if you have any holiday plans. Do you have any Thanksgiving traditions or Christmas traditions or other kind of holiday traditions at this time of year? Are you getting together with family? Are things busy? Are you stressed? Or are you just excited? I think that it is a crazy time of year, but I think a really fun and special time of year. For me, for life, pretty quiet, not too much going on. Last weekend, my boyfriend and I just enjoyed the nice weather. It's actually been a bit warmer here in Pennsylvania than I think it normally would be at this time of year. So we're just getting out, going on hikes, enjoying the lovely weather, and the leaves, which at this point I'm looking out the window, have mostly fallen off the trees, but they were beautiful for that short time that they were aglow with the reds and the oranges and the yellows and everything. So that was really fun. And then actually, my parents recently moved back up to the area. They moved and retired down to South Carolina about 6 years ago, and they miss me. They miss my brother who's in New York, so they decided to move back up here to Delaware. So now they're only about 2.5 hours away, and so they came to visit this weekend, and that was so fun. It's so great having them closer. I love them so much, two of my most favorite people in the world, and so to have them be able to just kind of come up and spend a weekend with me, see my boyfriend, and hang out is really, it's really special. It makes me really happy that they are back here, and I'll be able to go down and see them at Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so much easier than making the trip down to South Carolina. So when they were here this weekend, they came up on Saturday. We walked around the little town that I live in, went out to lunch. There's a lot of little cute restaurants, walked around some of the shops and the bookstore, and just hung out. And it was pretty nice weather this weekend. It was, again, a little bit warmer, at least yesterday. Today's a little chillier, but it was nice to just walk around and spend time with them. And then last night we went to P.F. Chang's. If you've ever been to P.F. Chang's, really good Chinese food, a lot of fun, really fun atmosphere there. So we got all kinds of food, and I even have some leftovers for dinner tonight. I love leftover Chinese food, and I love not having to cook, so that's really good. Got dessert and everything, and just had a relaxing dinner. And then this morning, we went out to a really nice brunch with my boyfriend, and then they headed back down to Delaware. So yeah, it was a really nice weekend. It was good spending time with them, and I'll be able to see them a lot more often. And I know my mom's really excited about that too, to be able to just like come up here and do a girls' day and go shopping and that kind of thing. So it'll be great. And Thanksgiving, we'll see what plans end up shaking up. I can't believe it's so close. It's a week and a half away. Spent some time with my boyfriend's family, and we'll spend some time with my family. So I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I think I love Christmas more because it's just cheerful and magical, but you can't pass up that good Thanksgiving table with all the food. So let me know what your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving is. I'm not a huge turkey person, but you gotta eat it at Thanksgiving. And with the gravy and the stuffing, it's pretty good. I love mashed potatoes, but I'm a desserts girl, so that's the best part for me. Not a huge pumpkin fan, but a good apple pie will get me every time, and ice cream and cookies and all of that kind of stuff. So should be a good Thanksgiving and hopefully a good Christmas. So let's talk about stitching. And speaking of Christmas, I don't have any fully finished objects, which I think in all of my previous videos, I've had a fully finished object or two. So I think it's okay this time around that I didn't fully finish anything, but I did finish something stitching wise, and it is my first Christmas stitch. So I'm pretty excited. And it is Ho 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 by Trellis and Thyme. This is on 28 count chalkboard linen, and some of it's called for DMC and some of it's my own colors, but very similar to the colors that they had originally picked for the pattern. I think it's so cute. Look at that little smiling Santa. Just a little one. I think I'm gonna finish it as a flat fold. I think I mentioned in my last video that I wanna experiment with that, and since this was a quick, simple little stitch, you know, I'm not too worried about experimenting and trying out a flat fold, and if it's not absolutely perfect, that's okay. And I think I'm gonna put this on my desk at work. And so I got that as PDF. I think I got it at 1, 2, 3, no, I don't think 1, 2, 3 Stitch has PDF patterns. I think I got it at Fat Quarter Shop. So if you're interested, really simple, really easy little stitch. I will say that this was not the easiest thing to stitch on. I don't think I would be doing a ton of this dark kind of fabric, but I really like how it looks. So I won't, you know, write off doing more stitches on like a chalkboard black or a black, but it was a little bit of a challenge. Maybe next time I would do an even weave or an aida and something in maybe a slightly larger count, a little bit easier to see. But that was fun. He's super cute. Can't wait to put him on my desk at work. And so I have 2 starts. This is all the Christmas. I think, yeah, everything's Christmas. I'm all about the Christmas right now. So I was gonna work on Fall is in the Air. That is the Fat Quarter Shop It's So Emma pattern with the little fox in the tree. Showed that in my last couple videos, but I put him away. I'm ready for Christmas. I wasn't feeling the fall stitching and I didn't want to force it. And I can probably finish that up pretty quickly next fall. And I'll fully finish that one and put that out next fall. So all Christmas. So my first start is Silent Night by Cottage Needleworks. And I just think that's so pretty with the little church. I think all of their patterns are so cute. Like anytime I see someone stitching on theirs, I have to write it down, and then I want like all of their patterns because I think they're so cute. So just so pretty. I will say that the sun is starting to set. Unfortunately, you know, daylight savings, the sun is setting earlier. I do have a lamp here, so hopefully the lighting will be okay. It won't be as good as the natural light, but I think it'll be okay. So this is my start for Silent Night. This is a 32 count Dove lugana. And I think I had asked you all in my last episode whether I should do the gray or the blue fabric, and pretty much everybody said do the blue, and I'm glad you did because I think that it looks really good with the blue fabric. It really makes the white pop, and I think it's gonna look so pretty with the snowflakes and once I stitch up, you know, all the other pieces of it. And so I'm using all the called for DMC except the church is Weeks Dye Works White Lightning, which is variegated. And I'm really glad I went with the variegated because I like how that looks, that like stone church with the white and the gray. I am kind of getting used to working with like a fancy floss that's variegated because at one point I probably just wasn't pulling the strands right and like all the gray was clumping up in like one corner. So I did a little frogging because I really wanted it to look more variegated. I didn't want to have blobs of white and blobs of gray. So I just need to be kind of careful about how I'm stitching with the variegated. I know you're really supposed to do full squares going straight across. But there's probably some YouTube videos I could check out if there's like that might give some tips and tricks. But I think it's coming along well. And I think the variegation is working out. So I really like that. I think it's so pretty. It's gonna be such a pretty one all stitched up. And I think this is one, I'll probably just frame it myself. I haven't gotten anything professionally framed yet, but it's definitely one I think just like a simple white frame would really look nice for that one. So that is Silent Night, Country Cottage Needleworks. And then the next start I have is Christmas Rules. This is part of a stitch along being held by the Cornhusker State Stitchers. And this is a Primrose Cottage Stitches pattern. So Christmas Rules. I like this is just such a cute idea for a pattern to have it be so thin and long, and then can get like a long board and put some bows. I won't finish this in time for Christmas. They are doing the sal so that each week, starting a couple weeks ago, you would do each little motif and finish the very last one, believe, in time for Christmas. Maybe not to fully finish it, but to at least finish it, but I'm behind. So this was the first week, this was the second week, which was last week, and then this one is, I think, this week, which you were supposed to, not supposed to, but they started on this one yesterday. So I'm well behind, but that's okay. I know I won't finish it in time for Christmas, and it's cute. So that's all that matters. I will finish it next year. And so this was what I have so far. This is a 35, it said 35 count. It's a mystery linen. I got it during this little sidewalk sale that my local Needleworks store had, and it was just stuffed in the back of one of the patterns that I got as part of the little sale. And it said 35 count like written on the pattern, so I'm assuming that's correct. And I thought it would just work perfectly. I need something that was very long for this one, so it was more than enough fabric. I definitely left way too much room. I did not, but that's okay. Hopefully I have enough going down. I think I left more than enough space to make sure it would all fit. And I am using my own conversion, my own colors. I actually just decided to, most of the time if I'm using my own colors, it's because I'm just picking what I have, because every time I go to Michael's, I get more DMC, and I'm like, I should have all of it. No, I don't have even close to all of it. And so I always think like I should have those colors, and I don't. So I just want to use like what I have, so I'm not spending too much money and going out and getting different colors every time when I have, you know, greens and reds and whatever you would need. Plus I thought these looked a little darker. It might be just how it photographed or how it looks on this fabric, but I like bright reds and bright greens for Christmas. So you can see they're a bit brighter, and I use, the red is $4.98. I think that's a really lovely red for Christmas. The lighter green is $9.37. And then the darker green is $9.86. So those are the colors that I chose because I think those are perfect Christmas colors in my opinion. And then the package, they did this in black, gray, and white. And I didn't really like black, gray, and white for wrapping paper, so I went with blues. So it's just a light and a slightly darker blue. So it's super cute. I will say about Primrose Cottage Stitches is they are so fun and easy. I did, is it Welcome Autumn? Welcome Autumn in the fall. And like words are really easy to stitch. They're simple patterns, but also like really pretty and really cute. And so I've just really been enjoying stitching on this one, and I kind of had to like force myself to put it down and finish ho 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 and work on some of the other things. So if I wasn't wanting to finish some of the other things I have and get some Christmas finishes done, I'd probably focus on this one a lot more. I'll do a little bit of stitching on it the next 2 weeks, but I want to get some other stuff done first, but I'm really loving stitching on this one. So those are my 2 starts. And then I have some whips. So not too much progress made on Mary. This one I'm about to show is Hands-On Design, Berries in Bloom. It is a free pattern on their website. So if you go on their website or you even just search for Hands-On Design freebies, you will see this. Maybe I don't need the board. It's a little bit big for this one. So I really didn't do that much since last time. I think last time I had Mary and maybe one of the berries. So I did another berry batch and a little bit of that one. Oh, this is the pattern because it's a digital PDF freebie. So that's what it's gonna look like. So I still need to do some of the black back stitching there and stuff like that. But I might focus on this week and get it done because I want another little small finish because again, I don't have any Christmas finishes. So I'll have the little ho 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 for my office and hopefully finish this one and be able to display it for Christmas somewhere in my apartment. And this is what is this? I wrote it down. 18 count platinum aida, and I am using, again, not really called for. I'm still using reds and greens, but I'm just using what I have in stash. So that's berries in bloom. That's really cute. And it's nice that, you know, they have freebies because, you know, I wanted to stitch more Christmas, but I have some larger patterns and I didn't want to stitch anything big, just something small, and to get something for free is great. And then the last whip, which I'm determined to finish maybe like this week, is 5th Day of Christmas by Hellow from Mathew. I just love this one. I love this. I had some of my stitching just like sitting out on my coffee table when my parents were here. So I was showing my mom and I showed her this one and she's like, oh, I love that one. It's just, cross stitch is just so fun and so elegant. So yeah, this is definitely one of the more pretty, elegant ones. I love this one. I'm gonna do this to see if it'll grab a screenshot that I can use for the main image for this video. But I did a lot. I don't remember exactly where I was last time, to be honest, but I did a lot more of the letters. I think I had like the P and the E and maybe some of the A, but, oh no, it was the other way. I had some of this done, but I definitely finished the P, and I think I finished the E since last time I saw you. And I did this because at first I was scared that this wouldn't line up with like this. And then if I was off with my stitching, that was not going to be fun. But it lines up here, and I tried to do like an eye, kind of just see like, does it go up there? And it should line up. And the border goes all the way across pattern because I got it digitally. 5th Day of Christmas, Hello from Mathew, if I didn't say the full name. 28 count white even weave, using all of her called for except the circles, which maybe you can see. You see the sparkle? Maybe a little. They're sparkly. So she called for like a petite braid or something you would probably have to get from like 1-2-3 Stitch or Fat Quarter Shop or something like that I didn't have. So I was in Michael's and I picked up, this is DMC called Muline, and it's E677. So it's slightly more brittle than like a normal DMC, but it had such a nice shine. It was like the perfect shade of like a silvery gold. Not too bad to stitch with. It's not too hard. I did this is 2/2, except these are rice stitches, but everything else is 2/2 on the 28 count even weave. And it wasn't that hard to stitch with. It was hard to get through the needle. Getting the 2 strands through the needle gave me a little bit of trouble when I needed to rethread, but other than that, it wasn't too bad to stitch with, and I think it just gives it that really nice little shine effect. So it's getting there. Unfortunately, it like seems like, oh, you're almost done. I think there's probably some snowflakes up here. So I don't have the pattern right in front of me. I know there's some like black X's, a little bit of a border down here, but I know up here, there's a lot of confetti. There's all these different colors. And so that might take some time. And then this border goes up and around. And then I think it emulates like the X's down here. So a bit more to go. And these are embroidery hoops or cross stitch hoops. So there's like going to be the little metal part that twists together up here. So I got to stitch that in too, which I think is so cute. So it's coming along. And if I focus on it in the next week to week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I think I can finish it. I want at least for my next video to have it fully finished for the stitching. And then I just want to put it in a silver frame. So once that's all done, I'll have to hope I can find a frame that will fit it at Michael's or Joann's or maybe online if I can find something that looks good. So I think this is so cute. Look how pretty. Liz Matthews. If you have not checked out Hello from Liz Matthews, I think her patterns are just, they're just so beautiful. I know that she has a new one in primitive punch needle and cross stitch or whatever that, there's a magazine. It's close enough. I'm close enough with the name there. It says like deck, she has a little one in there that says Deck the Halls. I kind of want to do that, but I don't think I have the time. But I really like her stuff, and I posted on Instagram like a couple weeks ago on Halloween a picture of her last one that I had fully finished, Two Pumpkins Bright, and she like commented and messaged me and said it looked lovely. So that was so sweet. So, tea. Oh man, you can tell it's starting to get dark out because of the light. I don't like when it gets dark out early. It's my least favorite part of winter. Well, my least favorite part of winter is the cold. Like once Christmas is over, then I'm like, okay, it can be warm again, it can be spring, but I also don't like when it gets dark out early. That's okay. Okay, so that was all my starts with my one finish. So 2 shout outs for Flosstubers that I would recommend you watch. The first one, which I don't think I've mentioned her before, is the 20-minute stitcher. That's Heather. I really like Heather. Her videos are pretty short. So if you kind of just need to like slip in a video, you want to watch something before bed, or you only have a little bit of time maybe in the morning, I definitely recommend Heather's videos. I think she tries to keep them all to 20 minutes. I don't think that's why she's the 20-minute stitcher. I think she said in one of her videos that she is busy, she has kids, she has a lot going on, so sometimes she only has 20 minutes to sit down and stitch. And so that's kind of her thing is, you know, you might not have hours and hours to stitch each evening. You might not have a ton of time, but you can do it, and you can create beautiful things, and it might take you a little longer. Your progress might be a little bit slower, but you know, whenever you have those little breaks or gaps in the day or time, you know, you should stitch. And so that's kind of, I think, what she anchors to, and it's great to see, you know, what she can get done and in her busy day and still do something that's fun and meaningful to her and creative. And so I would check out 20-minute stitcher. That's Heather. And then the other one, and hopefully you can't hear it, there's train tracks, but hopefully it's not too loud. The other one I recommend is Tiny House Stitcher. That's Angie. She actually does live in a tiny house, which I think is so cool. Like, I don't know if I could ever actually live in a tiny house, but I like the idea of living in a tiny house. Maybe someday, I don't know. I've lived in apartments most of my life. It's kind of like a tiny house. But yeah, so she lives in a tiny house. She has really lovely stitching. I love to see what she's working on. I think you all remember, and I think I have it here with me. I was working on Christmas Delivery. I think she's working on this one too, so I like seeing her progress on that one. She does finishing too, so you can actually send her stuff and she'll finish it. So cute, like cute little pillows and different things. Like, she's just so talented, and she's had a rough year. There's been a lot going on for her, and I think she keeps such a positive attitude. She still comes on Flosstube to connect with people and show off her stitching. Really lovely person. So please check out Tiny House Stitcher. So I want to give an update on giveaways. Thank you for all of you who entered my giveaway. I know at this point that was like 4 weeks ago. Everyone emailed me. I have everyone's addresses. I have everything packed up in envelopes and ready to go. A couple little extra surprises in there for you. So I will go to the post office this week and get that out. So you will be receiving your giveaway wins very shortly. And then I have another giveaway, and this one is a little bit more unique. So my boyfriend was very supportive of my cross stitching and me thinking about starting a Flosstube. He was kind of the one who was like, just do it, why not? Start a Flosstube. And he's always asking me about it. He's intrigued by all of my viewers and all of the other Flosstubers. And so I'm next week, possibly with him, going to do a Flosstube extra. So you will meet Alex maybe next week if he does still want to do it. I don't know if he'll get camera shy. And so we were thinking through like, what could we do? And I know some Flosstubers have like asked significant others or other people in their lives like about their stitching and like, what's an FFO and what's a this and what's a that. And so I might do a little of that with him. The one thing about Alex is he has a really good memory, and he does listen to me when I speak most of the time. I don't know, sometimes he might tune me out when I get too into the cross stitch stuff and be like, okay, that's great. But I think most of the time he does listen, so I have a feeling that even if I show him different things, he'll know a lot. But I'm gonna try, and we're gonna test him. So we'll show off some stitchy things and see if he remembers the names of them. But the other thing we're thinking of doing is just a Q&A, where he would ask me questions and I would answer questions about the books I read, questions about what I'm stitching and how I got into stitching and what I like about stitching, questions just about me, my likes, my dislikes, my interests, you know, anything. And so that's what we're thinking of doing. We joke a lot, we laugh a lot, so I don't know how the episode's gonna turn out, but my next giveaway is if you submit a question, any question, into the comments about, you know, you want him to ask me in my Flosstube extra, again, about my stitching, about books, about life, about the holidays, about things I like, things I don't like, my cat, you can ask questions about Scout. You know, feel free to pop them in the comments, and then I will just randomly, I'll fill out a spreadsheet or something with numbers and do a random number generator. And if you ask a question in the comments, I will randomly pick someone to get a $25 gift card to Etsy. So ask a comment or put a question in the comments, any question you want, and I will randomly pick someone in a couple weeks once we air the Flosstube extra. After that, maybe in my next regular episode. Hopefully in 2 weeks. It is Thanksgiving, so we'll see if I film. But in at least 2 to 3 weeks, I will have another episode. I will announce the winner, and I'll just have you email me, and I will send you a $25 gift card to Etsy. So again, we're gonna film this next week, so you don't have a ton of time to enter. But I would say, now I need to know what dates are what too. Today is the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. The 18th is Friday the 18th. By this Friday. I think it's the 18th. So if you're watching, hopefully before Friday the 18th by midnight, because I'm assuming probably film on Saturday. So we'll be going through the questions and picking which ones he wants to ask me for Saturday. And your question doesn't have to be chosen for you to win. I will just go through and see whoever asked a question, anyone who asked a question, and you'll be entered for a $25 gift card to Etsy. So that's what we're gonna do. Hopefully it goes off. I was thinking like, oh, we could do a live, but because I don't know what he's gonna say. I don't know how to do. So he was like, I'm gonna input my own questions and just ask you things I want to ask you. And I was like, this is why the edit function exists. I was joking. Maybe. So we'll see how that goes. So possibly next weekend you could see another episode from me. It'll be a Flosstube episode or extra with me and my boyfriend. A little bit of a Q&A so you can learn more about me, get to meet him, and just should be fun. Something we can kind of do together for me to share this with him too, since he's been so supportive. So look out for that. And then I'll go to plans and a little bit of haul, which is integrated into my plans, and then we'll do books. So my first haul, maybe plan, it depends on time, is I got this from, well, I got stuff from 123 Stitch because I had extra money left over on a gift card from my birthday, and I wanted to get a piece of fabric, and if you're gonna order one thing, you might as well order all the things. And so, and I might as well use up the rest of the gift card. So I got this from Little House Needleworks. This is fairly new. This is their winter petites. Is it winter? Yes, winter petites. So cute. Look at these. I don't know how you even come up with something like that small to stitch. And what did they use? They used a 30 count. And these measure approximately 2 inches and 3/4. So like little itty bitties. So I might want to stitch one of these. I feel like it can't take that long. They're so tiny, like it couldn't take that long. I kind of want to make a little ornament for my tree because I don't have any cross stitch ornaments. And so I think these would work well. So let me know which one you like. I think I want to do the little reindeer for my tree. I think that's pretty sweet. But I kind of also like the little guy, the guy and the girl, like me and my boyfriend. But we'll see. I don't have anything with like little reindeer though. I don't even think, I have one reindeer ornament for my little 6-foot tree. So I might do that one. But these are super cute, so maybe, if I have time. So many plans. I also know I won't finish it for Christmas, but I do want to work on Christmas delivery from Cottage Garden Samplings. I just fell in love with this one. I love the Santa. I love everything about this. And I don't think I made any progress from the last time I showed this, but this is what I have done so far. It's not so bad, all things considered. So I'll keep plugging away on that one. I might work on that one tonight. And then the rest of the week I'll work on 5th Day of Christmas from Mathew. So work on that one a little over the next couple weeks. 5th Day of Christmas, Berries in Bloom, just Christmas stitching. And then I think I mentioned that this stuff was coming 2 videos ago, but once Christmas is over, I won't want to do any Christmas stitching, and nothing too, like, probably won't want to do like snowmen. Maybe, I don't know if I want to do anything too wintry, but I know I want to do this one. So this is Winter Rose Manor. This is a Brenda Gervais. I haven't done any Brenda Gervais, and I think she's such a beautiful designer, and I just think this is so lovely. And like, you could leave this out all winter. It's like, I think it has slight like February Valentine's Day vibes. So you could put this out, like, I think at the beginning of Christmas and leave it up for at least 3 or 4 months. So I definitely want to start that after Christmas. This will be like, oh, my holidays are over, how sad. Kind of bring me some joy stitching. And so the reason I'm showing this one, because I showed it last week too, is I got the fabric. And I think this is going to work really well. So this is a 36 count summer khaki linen. It's probably looking, the light is getting a little bright as it gets dark. It's weird to go from it being sunny out to now it being dark while filming this. So this might not be displaying perfect. It's not. It's a little bit, it's darker than this, but that's okay. It's like khaki, like a greenish beige khaki color. But I think it'll look really nice with the colors. These are Weeks and Classic Colorworks, and again, the fabric's like maybe a little bit darker than it's showing. This might actually be showing a bit better, but I think these colors are gonna work really nice on this. My biggest thing was hoping that this, which is the house, would show up, and I think that will show up on it. So I think it's gonna be really fun to start that. And I'll be working the week between Christmas and New Year's, but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty quiet, pretty slow. I think they're going to let me work from home, so I won't even have to go into the office. So I think that that'll be nice to just like have my laptop in front of me if anything is needed from me, answer emails or chats or whatever comes up, but also be able to kind of just sit there and while things are quiet, if there's not a lot going on that week, it's just sit and stitch and work on that one. And then the other one that came in my order from 123 Stitch that I had mentioned last week is Spring Quaker. This is the one that is a Sal from Huga Stitcher. That is Samantha. And so she lives in Canada, so she is doing this as her snow start. First day of snow, she would start stitching on it. It's already snowed up there. I think it's Winnipeg. She's in the Winnipeg area, so it's already started snowing up there. So she's already started stitching on this swing is not a word. Spring Quaker by Lila's Studio. And I just, look at the detail. Look how pretty. We don't need to see my face. Just look at that. So I think that's so pretty. Look at the little bunnies, the houses. So I'm excited to work on that one. And so that will be my snow start, hopefully. It should snow here sometime soon. I feel like snow comes later and later every year, like global warming, and I don't know, it doesn't snow as often in December, but maybe it will. I have no idea when it's gonna snow. And even my parents were asking this weekend, because they've been in South Carolina for the past 5-6 years. They're like, do you know if it's gonna be like a bad winter? And I'm like, I have no idea. If anyone knows in the Northeast if it's supposed to be snowy. Though, I mean, the meteorologists try, but I think that you never know what Mother Nature is gonna throw at you anyway. But if it doesn't snow by like mid-January, I'll think of something else. I'll think of some other reason to start this. Maybe the first day it dips below a certain temperature or something. So, but I think that's so pretty. I need to get the floss for this. I think I have most of it. I'm just gonna do the DMC because fancy floss is expensive and there are quite a good number of colors in this one. So we'll just go with the DMC, which always I think looks lovely unless you need variegation. And so this I'm gonna do on this 32 count Antique Ivory Belfast. Again, maybe not showing up perfectly. It's looking maybe more yellowy or beigey, but it's really got like a peachy undertone to it. I think it looks a bit, it's a little less pink than the fabric on here. It's got a peachy undertone. Sometimes if you hold it back. No, now I'm one of those people who's like, let me see where it looks the best, but it's because the light. I don't have a ring light either. I just have like a normal standing light with the arms that you, like a reading light. But I think this will be really nice for this pattern. So I'm happy with that. So that is all my stitching. I think it's a lot of stitching. It's good. Lots of plans. I mean, I just want to stitch everything. When you're new at this and you don't have like a lot of finished things, and I haven't done like any, you know, I have one Christmas, but I haven't done a lot of Christmas. So now I'm into all the Christmas. I haven't done like a large sampler. Oh, I will say, in my last video, I was like, I don't think this is a sampler, but it gives me sampler vibes. It literally says that it's a sampler at the bottom. I don't know what exactly defines a sampler. I know there's stuff out there and there's Flosstubers who go through like the history and there's information. I guess I normally think a sampler would have an alphabet and this doesn't, but I guess because it has all the motifs, it has a big house, it has the thing of flowers on the roof, and I guess, you know, these elements kind of constitute a sampler. So I guess this technically is a sampler. So I've never done a sampler. And then I've worked on a Quaker, my September Quaker, which I put away for a while, so that'll come back out in the winter too, but I haven't done anything this large and this intricate. And I think this too will be the largest one I've done, but like that house is huge. That's gonna take time, and the windows and all of that. Like there's a lot going on with that, but there's a lot of detail going on with this one. So this will probably be the most complex one I've done so far. But I'm ready for a challenge. And what better time to do large and complex cross-stitching than the dead of winter when it's cold and snowy and dark and you don't want to go anywhere or do anything else. So lots of plans. I will continue to probably have more plans. I have to figure out next year what next year looks like for stitching, if I want to kind of have not a theme for the year, but I know a lot of people do like Whip Go, where you have like a bingo board and they call numbers and you do different projects. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but maybe I'll check that out. People stitch temperature charts. There's one with like a tree, and then each day there's like a chart and you look at what the temperature was and you stitch it in that color to kind of showcase your year, where you live, all the different colors for all the different temperatures of the year. So maybe I want to do that. I want to do all the things. So that'll be fun. So that's it for stitching. Please ask a question of me if you want, enter into the giveaway. Check out next week's episode with my boyfriend if that goes smoothly and I decide it's worth, or I'm able to show it. We're goofballs, so we'll see. It could be weird, but it could be fun. So we'll see if that happens. But, you know, if you don't want to ask a question or you can't think of anything, just still pop into the comments. Let me know what you're stitching. Let me know, you know, what you're doing for the holidays and what's new where you are. So thanks for watching. If you're not interested in the bookish content, but if you are interested in book stuff, stick around for a few more minutes. I am spending all this time stitching. It'll be a while till I have like finished books, and maybe not next episode, the Flosstube Extra, but the episode after that, I'll do another recommendation off my bookshelf of something I've already read. But for now, my things that I'm reading, again, are Invisible Child. I mentioned this one in my last video. This is by Andrea Elliott. She is a New York Times journalist. She followed a young 11-year-old girl named Dasani who is homeless and living in Brooklyn, and she followed this young girl for 8 years. And wrote about her family, about the homelessness crisis in New York City, about the things that Black Americans, especially those who are living in poverty, face in our country, just the inequities and inequalities the way that they don't benefit from the systems, sometimes the same way that white people can, but also overall just the homeless epidemic and how it's so hard to escape from that situation once you're in it. It's so well written. I mean, obviously it's heartbreaking. The conditions that she lives in, the things she has to struggle with, you know, going to school and trying to pretend that she doesn't live in a homeless shelter, and children find out and they say horrible things, and she's living in conditions where there are rats and cockroaches and it's unsafe. And you know, her parents they're there and they're part of the children's lives, but they themselves have their own struggles, their own addictions with drugs and things like that. So it's a tough read, but it's so well written. And Andrea, I think, does a really great job of kind of looking at the microcosm of this family and their experience in the city of New York, but also the overall homelessness issue throughout our country, and kind of the ways in which, you know, systemic racism have caused much more homelessness among Black Americans. One example is that her great-great-great-grandfather fought in, I think it was World War II. Yes, and the vets came home, the soldiers came home, and they were celebrated, more the white soldiers than the Black soldiers, and they got a lot of benefits, the GI Bill, and they got a lot of benefits in education. The white soldiers did. The Black soldiers, however, did not benefit as much and weren't offered as many benefits, or were denied housing, help, or other things that the white soldiers did not face. And you look at that, and that inequality and that inability to find housing and stable work for her great-great-grandfather, that follows you through the generations, right? Because you can't get out of that cycle once you're in it. And we don't offer people ways to get out of that cycle of poverty. And so, you know, that's just one example of like impacts on her family. It's not the only thing that caused them to be in the situation they're in, but it's one of the things that really brings people down and doesn't allow them to rise above. And so I think this is really well written. It's not an easy read, but you know, it's kind of one of those educational reads where you just learn a lot and you see things through a different perspective. So highly recommend this one. It is long, it's a chunky book. I am making a pretty good dent though. I'm 100 pages in the last 2 weeks. And it's one, I think at one point I had to just put it down for a little bit because it is pretty heavy. I can't read it for like, for more than like, you know, I can't read it for hours and hours. You need to put it down after a little bit. But I keep wanting to pick it back up too. So that's really good. And then this one, I don't have the dust jacket, but Less is Lost by Andrea Greer. I've talked about this one. This is a sequel to Less, about an author who is a middling author. He's now getting older. He's in his 50s. Not super successful, still trying to write though. He's in a relationship and, you know, things are kind of going awry. And so he's off on adventures into the Midwest to do different speaking series and kind of escape his troubles at home. And he always runs, whenever he travels and starts doing like speaking engagements and retreats and all of this, he kind of runs into strange and interesting situations and gets himself in weird hang-ups and things. So this is just so far just as cute as the first one. Happy to spend more time with this character. He's a lot of fun, and see where this next journey takes him and what other kind of messes he might get himself into. About 30 pages into this one, so it's a good contrast to Invisible Child when I need to step away from something that's a bit heavier and read something a bit lighter. They balance each other well. So that's what I'm currently reading. Let me know what you're reading. Let me know if you have any book recommendations for me. I have to think about reading goals for next year. Definitely spent a lot more time this year just cross-stitching and doing other things than reading. I think I'm at about 20 books for the year though, so that's not too bad. If I could get to 24, and that would have been like 2 a month. That would be nice, but we'll see. It doesn't have to happen. I don't have to be so strict about my reading goals. I used to be a bit more strict, and if I didn't get a certain number toward the end of the year, I would feel like disappointed, but just read what I want, read when I want, and make sure I'm always enjoying it. So if you stayed till minute 45, let me know, because I really appreciate you hanging out with me that long, and hope you have a wonderful week. And I probably won't film a normal episode before Thanksgiving, so if you don't tune in again until after that, have a wonderful Thanksgiving if you live in the States, and a wonderful next couple of weeks, and happy stitching and happy reading. Bye, everyone.